because it would be in Chicago. Yeah, I have some interest in, why I would want to see Jimmy start this week. I did put it out there that I do believe CJ would sit this one out. Kyle from Eastern Illinois, he would love to start in Chicago.
This is Garoppolo's team, man. Garoppolo was brought here for a reason. I mean, we didn't pay an arm and a leg for him, but in a way we kind of did. We're going to have a pretty high second-round pick. You know what I mean? So Garoppolo, I feel like Garoppolo is going to start, and he's going to start for the rest of the year.
Are you listening?
Ronbo Sports here, representing the Niner Empire organization worldwide, and invite you to do the same. Go to the9erempire.com for further details and information. Thank you, fam, for allowing me to vent my 49er love as we talk about this today. Everybody's talking about the 49ers. Even people who are a little concerned or haven't been concerned about the 49ers going forward and now said, oh, the 49ers making moves. Oh, let me address this right away, though, because I love this. There's a lot of people who do not care for Carlos Hyde to remain on the team, right? We talked about this beginning of the season. He doesn't fit the scheme. It's time for him to go. Red and Gold Radio people know who I'm talking to. John Lynch is saying nothing but good things about Carlos Hyde. In fact, in an interview just the other day, he says, well, he checked all the boxes out. In the beginning of the season, he came to us, and he lost the weight. He showed full commitment, and he's impressed us all season long. We just wanted to know. And he was checking us out, too. I love the part. He was checking us out, too. So he sees the program works, he fits in, and it's working well for him. John Lynch is impressed, as well as Kyle Shanahan. Kyle doesn't say anything, but he is. But John says this: he blocks well, he knows the scheme, he fits the scheme. It's not too much for him. Inside, outside zone doesn't mean a thing. He does it well. In fact, John says he probably fit into any scheme. Oh, snap! It looks like he's going to get re-signed. It ain't a bad thing, fam. Listen, let me go over something really quickly about Saquon Barkley. Saquon was not going to be a 49er no matter whether Carlos stayed with us or not. You see, if you want Saquon, you need the first or second or third. Let me see, first round pick. First pick of the first round is going to be a quarterback. Most likely the second pick is going to be a quarterback. Possibly the third could be a quarterback. So you need to be top 5, and we could be. You need to be top 5 to even have a shot at Saquon, all right? I'm trying to prepare you so you don't have to be in such pain on draft night. Watch me end up being wrong like I was last year. But anyway, what's going to end up happening, 1, 2, 3 places, most likely going to be quarterbacks. The 4th place, it's hard to put a finger on it this soon. But if you don't have the 4th pick and use it, at least 4th, for Saquon, you ain't gonna get him. And what are the 49ers gonna do if they get it that high? They're gonna draft it down. What are the chances of getting the 5th pick in the first round? I don't know, but if they get it, what are they gonna do with it? Because we'll have multiple picks, and we'll see. The bearer of bad news. I'm just trying to help you out, okay? What I'm really juiced about, Jimmy G. Oh, man, I've not been so excited about a quarterback since 2013 when Kyle Kaepernick came out, fired from the pistol. The read option, what is that? Colin was just killing people. Now, and remember that night when he stole the show? Alex Smith sitting on the bench with a concussion? It was Chicago. It was Chicago. We're playing Chicago now. The magic goes round and round. It's Jimmy G versus the Bears? Could be. And here's the thing about him. Everybody knows Jimmy G should not know the program so well yet. So what Kyle has done, he's tailored the program so Jimmy G can run it. It's not going to be exactly Kyle's offense, but you kind of knew that. And it's not going to be a vanilla offense either, which is what I was concerned about. So reading about that, it's not going to be a vanilla offense. It's going to be tailored especially for Jimmy G's talents and skills and what he feels comfortable with. Kyle's going to line up a bunch of plays, throw them at him. Jimmy will check him down and say, listen, I'm comfortable with this, I'm comfortable with this, I'm comfortable with this. And then he'll choose. And then we roll into Chicago and get ready to beat him up. I'm feeling good about it. I really think it's possible, man. But, Jimmy G, I I'm pumped about him because of what I seen him do against the Hawks. I know it's a small sample, but the way he went about doing it with all that cool charisma and skills. I mean, the Hawks have not been treated like that by any quarterback, let alone a guy that's Jimmy G amazes me, man. I gotta tell you. So I am pumped for this game coming up. Yeah.
Ronbo!
Oh, MC.
This is the best bad year ever. Won one game.
Yeah.
And Niner fans celebrating like a busload of Raider fans just drove over a cliff. Hey, Ronbo.
What? Yes.
Think Jimmy G about to put up a W on Sunday?
Can I tell you about that a little later?
Alright. I'm gone.
Yeah, well, I wanted to say that because check it. I'll tell you about that in a minute. But I want you to check out this conversation I had before we found out about the news that Jimmy G was about to start. Later, fam, as I say, there's no need to change affiliations. We're still the proud 49er franchise, even though the disappointment was unreal. But I got my butt, Brian. Brian, how are you?
Great. How we doing, Ronbo?
We're doing like we're foreseeing into the future, Brian. I'm thinking beyond this year, and I can't wait till this off season. But first, I want to ask you about this game, Brian. We beat the Giants, crisp and sharp. Everything seemed to be in sync. I thought that we were ready to go and maybe win a couple of more games this season. And all of a sudden, we get this game from the one we wanted to win more than any game of the season. We look flat. We looked uncertain. Brian, did you help me understand? Did we go through a regression? Are we going to improve? Was it because we shouldn't take breaks during the season? What was wrong with this game?
You know, I tell you, Ronbo, you know, you look at the tackle positions, you had Staley that doesn't look 100% just yet.
I know.
But, you know, obviously with Trenton Brown sitting out and, you know, the troubles we've had with our interior linemen this year have been just not good. Not good.
True.
And, you know, you saw that in the first half where, you know, everything on play action was just, you know, CJ had someone in his face as soon as he turned around. I was like, man, come on. Come on.
How
It was tough.
It's really frustrating. You're right. And CJ, you're right. You know what I did forget? Trent Brown was missing. Magnuson is no Trent Brown.
No.
Yeah, that's the underlying factor right there. No Trent Brown. Interior line can do nothing. If you're gonna miss Trent Brown, you can't miss him against the Hawks.
No, not at all. Not at all. And, you know, that's why I was afraid going into this game. You know, that front seven, everyone kept on saying, well, their secondary with Sherman out wasn't that good. But I said, you know, guys, they still have a very good front seven. And that, you know, I think that was a difference. You know, they controlled the line and, you know, they knew what they had to do and they did it.
Brian, you mentioned Joe Staley. I'm concerned about Joe going forward. Can this team's going to take a big shift. I think there's going to be a lot of things done over the summer that's going to put this team right into focus next season and make us a little more relevant. Is Joe Staley going to be a part of that plan? You
know, I think it has to be. You know, unless you're happy with going to the tackle position. I mean, obviously we all know, you know, Trenton Brown, I think, has had 3 starts over at left tackle and has done a great job there. The question is, you know, do you bring someone in for right tackle? You know, if you were to let go or trade a Joe Staley, you know, that's a big question that I think everyone's on their mind. You know, the rumors of maybe Joe retiring this year. I mean, you hope not, but I mean, that's a possibility. Yeah. So you have to be ready for all those options.
Tell you what, and speaking of players, Solomon Thomas, and you know, in our circles, we hear a lot of things. People are talking, they're saying this and that.
Yeah.
Solomon Thomas suddenly is coming under fire, and the BUST word is coming up. Is that fair? Is that fair? I mean, given all that's happened to him this year?
Well, you know, it's kind of weird. It's kind of like, Solomon Thomas was a guy in Stanford that, obviously he would play the interior, he played the outside, and where does he fit in the system? And the question is on the outside, you'll see him play, be okay when he's playing that defensive end position. A lot of people think that maybe he should be moved on the inside on third down as more of your, if I would give Solomon a grade, I would probably say it was a B- this year. And I think there's talent there.
Yeah.
But as far as a pass rush, yeah, he doesn't have a pass rush. Definitely needs something to be worked on. Obviously a lot of people would say right now that maybe they made the wrong pick with him, and we'll see.
And from you saying that, it segues right into the other anxiety is Robert Saleh doing a good job? Now, there's times when I question it, but I look at Saleh as being a very brilliant, cerebral individual. So I don't really question it. I'm just trying to wait and see. But what are your feelings on the current method of defense?
Well, I think Saleh, he's brought the defense in the way they wanted to, and that's fine.
Yeah.
There's no adjustments being made at halftime, and you don't have the players to play in this defense. And they've tried to hide it, I think, to a certain point.
Yeah.
And obviously you need to go get those solid corners that can be on islands and not worry about that. I think we have a good one on Witherspoon. We all saw that yesterday. He played probably the best game he's played. And Johnson, I'm sorry. Johnson, probably not here with us. We definitely need an upgrade there.
Yeah.
And, for the most part, Saleh, he knows how to put the defense in. He's been there. I think with bringing over Dave, someone that he knew from Jacksonville, that was a good pickup.
Yeah.
But the question is, adjustments and execution. That's been our problem all year. So, where do you go from there? Is it players or is it the system that he's trying to run and not making adjustments?
If you didn't, I'm talking to Brian. Brian has the host of Niners Radio. I think we can talk about that. Brian, Niners Radio.
Yes.
Give us a little rundown of your schedule on a weekly basis.
Oh my gosh, Ronbo. We are so involved. Obviously, as well as you as with the Niner Empire, dealing with the chapters, trying to get as much information out there. We've brought on I'm sure everyone's seen we brought on 8 writers over at Niners Radio, and we're trying to expand that with Niners Radio, working with a lot of people from the organization, and trying to grow that, and trying to give the fans what they want, and just the knowledge out there. And it's been a fun ride.
Yeah,
it's been a fun ride. Well, Ronbo, you love doing this too.
Absolutely,
you love it.
What time can we catch you on a weekly basis to the program?
So it's every Tuesday night at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time, and you can read all our information plus get our show at NinersRadio.com.
There you go, Brian. I want to also know. Kyle has came out, and everything Kyle does using the press is like a preemptive strike, right? Kyle comes out and says, listen, what you saw in this game is not going to influence my decision on who's going to be starting that game against the Bears. So I always laugh because Kyle sees these things coming and he nips it in the bud before they start bothering him about, Kyle, is Jimmy G going to start this next game? And Kyle, I know they're going to ask me that. What he went out there and did even shocked me as Kyle Shanahan, right? So I'm saying, I know here they come. So because I don't know what Kyle's mindset is. I don't know if he wants to keep Jimmy out of harm's way
Right.
I can't figure out exactly. You may have already done it already. 'Cause if you have, you're ahead of me. I don't understand what's going on. I'd like to see Jimmy.
Yeah.
My own personal opinion: leave Jimmy right where he is. He came out only because he had to. I don't want him in harm's way. I want to see that offensive line get built better. I want him to know the program. But he came out there, Brian, as if he'd known the program for years. He comes out there. He's getting everybody in line. He's lining them up. I mean, Brian.
Right?
What's going to happen, man? What's going to happen in Chicago is, and we're going to have Jimmy. Jay, what are your feelings on this matter?
Well, I do believe that, Kyle did not want him to play. If he played, it was a little, garbage time.
Yeah.
Because obviously we saw out there, even with the offensive line protection, what he did in 1 minute versus what CJ did the full game. Yeah. And it proves to you that obviously, he's got all the tools, and he's eventually down the line what CJ hopes to be.
Yeah, exactly.
But I guess it depends on how badly he's hurt.
Yeah.
And I mean, because it would be in Chicago. I have some interest in why I would want to see Jimmy start this week. I did put it out there that I do believe CJ would sit this one out. Kyle from Eastern Illinois, he would love to start in Chicago. So I do believe Jimmy does start this week. I hope that CJ's okay. We'll see, but the future's bright.
Sure.
And to all the people that love CJ, good guy, not a future starter that's going to take over Jimmy Garoppolo's position, though.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Brian, give me a score on this game.
The score of the game, of the Bears game, huh?
Yeah.
I'm going to say 24-13 49ers. I like it.
And
24-13. Yeah.
And you already heard Brian's choice of quarterbacks.
Jimmy Garoppolo.
So there you go. 24 points put up on the Bears defense by Jimmy G. Oh.
Yes.
Well, Brian, I tell you what we're going to do. Let's just go ahead and put us down with the 50-yard line. And we were sitting at that game. And in fact, let's go ahead and switch the situation. Jimmy G is in a situation now where he can win the game. All he has to do is make that strike. Oh, God, he did it so well. What are we going to do? 3, as he crosses that goal line. Boom! What are we going to do? 3, 2, 1.
Go Niners! Brick by brick.
Yes. Oh, Niner fam. In times like this, when we again are back into our regular situation with having lost the previous game, and we try to get together to cheer each other up. I've called Tariq, and he's a member of the 49er Empire as well. Tariq, hello.
Hello, Mr. Ronbo. How are you?
Tariq, I got to tell you, man, it's funny because listen to 49er fans, the comparison between the Giants game, when everybody was excited after the Giants game, everybody, yes, we've turned the corner. We're getting ready to make it. What people forget is we're still rebuilding. And immediately, here comes the blame. It's Carlos Hyde's fault. It's the offensive line fault. Now people are going after Robert Saleh. And also, Tariq, it's a combination of things. What I want to know from you, have you picked out or singled out any one particular reason that you are not happy with the organization as things are being ran? Because I know you probably have no problem with the people involved in the organization. But are you okay with the things being ran? Is there something you want to single out? I'd love to hear, because I'm collecting all these things to see what's going on.
That's a really good question, man. Honestly, the thing that I would have loved to seen John Lynch do more was to go after some offensive line. I mean, I was doing cartwheels when we drafted Reuben Foster. I mean, that's a guy that I was every social media outlet you can think of. I was 6 months before that. I was like, Reuben Foster. people are getting sick of me talking about Reuben Foster. So I was very pleased with that. But I feel like, I was happy with the receivers that we brought in and all that. But if anything that I could point at is that we really didn't touch on the offensive line. And I know you can't fix everything in one off season. I'm fully aware of that. But I mean, if I had to choose, I would have to go with something with the O line.
And we're all seeing that right now because the offensive line is not able to protect. Although there's something interesting about the offensive line. I'll get back to you on that in a minute, but I'd like to know now, do you think the 49ers have made any gains so far in this particular season? Because from last year, you know what's so funny though? This is a wide open question for you. You could probably go on for hours, but maybe because we made gains from last year to this year, where do you see that?
Oh man, look, we won 2 games last year, and I thought we might win 6 this year, maybe 5 or 6. That's what a lot of people are predicting. But you know what? There's no comparison. In my opinion, there's no comparison between this year, last year, and the year before and all that. I mean, we have an actual NFL-worthy head coach, and just overall coaching staff compared to the last 2 or 3 years, right? Well, I don't want to say 3 years, but the last 2 years for sure. I don't want to cut back to the Harbaugh days.
Well,
that was my boy.
I know, because Jimmy's,
but I mean, it's just there's no comparison. I mean, right? Especially now, you're looking at your future franchise quarterback. I mean, you're looking at your franchise quarterback. You have that. You have, you have a GM who's not afraid to make moves, man. I mean, you saw what he did in going after Jimmy Garoppolo, making a trade into, drafting people that it just makes sense. I mean, did you ever see Balky do anything like that? I mean, the guy was, he was just, man. I know I can't curse on this program, otherwise I would let him have it, man. So yeah, there's no comparison, man. We're definitely on the right track.
Now, you mentioned Jimmy Garoppolo, and that's as far as being on the right track. Tariq, were you shocked or surprised at what you see in that game? Because Jimmy came out there and he was a complete take charge guy. What are your feelings on Jimmy Garoppolo, and how do you see? Because now it's about the trade talk is what kills me too. And I think I've seen you on a couple of threads on Instagram as well. People are saying, if we don't trade him, why would you think it even go in that draft? I see. Also, Tariq and I are we're like the allies that go in and sweep up the race. When we see dumb thoughts, we usually zero in on the same people, so it's pretty funny.
Completely.
But about Jimmy Garoppolo, what are your feelings about Jimmy? And do you think that he is going to be the quarterback this weekend? Yeah,
I do. I mean, he better be, right? First, I don't think CJ is right. I think there's something wrong with him. I don't know what. Hope to God he completely recovers. I mean, he's a fantastic guy. You obviously saw the reaction, from the locker room. He's just a rookie. And so he's well loved, he's well respected, well accepted. So, hats off to him. But this is Garoppolo's team, man. Garoppolo was brought here for a reason. I mean, we didn't pay an arm and a leg for him, but in a way we kind of did. We're going to have a pretty high second round pick. You know what I mean? So Garoppolo, I feel like Garoppolo is going to start, and he's going to start for the rest of the year unless he gets injured, which, then of course that's different. But I completely see him starting this week and for the rest of the year for sure.
And years ago, you know what? I got to tell you, I try to think back to a quarterback that quite looked as fully equipped as Jimmy G. Some people said you got to go back as far as, you pretty much got to go back to Steve Garcia, maybe close. But just a small sample we've seen, that's a high skill set. The way he moves around in the pocket, the way he looks like he's fully in charge, that's something you can only get from playing under one of the best in the game and also having Belichick as a coach. Your feeling on that?
Exactly. No, I 100% I agree with you. It's the style, it's the way he moves. It's, the people talk about his quick release. I mean, Ronbo, me and you can throw the ball quickly. Believe me, we can get the ball out quickly. That's not the point. The point is, where does it land? Where does it go? And how does it get there? Is it a duck? No receiver in the world wants to catch a duck. Tight spiral, in stride, and on target. I mean, that's combine that with the quick delivery. and being able to read the defense. I mean, honestly, I'm very excited about the guy. I wanted us to go after him last year, and I know there's no way Balky was gonna make that kind of a move. You know, he was hiding in the cave somewhere. But it's funny because that day that we traded for him, me and one of my friends, who's actually one of your followers on IG, we were texting back and forth trying to figure out like, hey, okay, what do you want for the Niners next year? I was on my way home from work, and we were just texting, and one of the guys that I mentioned was Jimmy Garoppolo, trade for Jimmy Garoppolo, and my friend didn't want him, and he didn't want him. It was just funny because like maybe less than 2 hours later, he texts me. He says, "Hey, we just traded for your sorry behind Garoppolo." I swear to God, it was the funniest thing. And I'm sitting there just doing cartwheels and stuff. I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" And he wasn't happy. He's like, "Man, he's only played in 2 games and this and that." I'm like, "Man, get that." You know what? Out of here, man. That, you know, you just think about it like this. We drafted ourselves a quarterback in the 2nd round that's been coached up by Belichick and that sat behind and learned from Brady for the last 3 years or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
I said, I'll take that over any prospect, you know, whoever it may be, UCLA, USC, any of those guys. I don't care. They're still unproven. At least this guy has sat behind a legend. You know, I mean, he's learned from Belichick. I'll take that any day of the week. So that's been my whole argument, and I'm sticking with it until he proves me wrong.
I don't blame you. And I bet you your friend has changed his mind if he watched that last game this past week. If he's a 49er fan, if he watched the game this past weekend, has he changed his mind? Have you talked to him since then?
You know, I talked to him today. He was like, "Oh, you did pretty good." Yeah. You know, he did pretty good.
He can't come all the way because you've already said like you didn't really appreciate this guy. So to come to you now and say he did pretty good, I'll probably all favor that. They're all going to come around, Drake. They're all going to come around. This guy's the real deal. And you can see it, too. All right. Well, Drake, you got to give me a score now. If Jimmy G starts, are we going to beat the Bears, and by how much? If we're going to lose to the Bears, by how much?
Well, you know what? People talk about, you know, we should tank, we should do that. Man,
we're hearing
hell
that, too.
No.
Yeah.
I cannot stand the word tanking, man. That just kills me. You always want to win. You always want to prepare, set the tone for next season. Yeah. If we need to do everything we can to win. And I think if Jimmy Garoppolo starts and he, God forbid, he doesn't get hurt. Yeah. I think we'll take him. I think we'll take him. I really do. I think it'll be like 24-17.
It's realistic.
Yeah.
That really is realistic because our defense is having a little trouble, but Jimmy G will not have any trouble. I like that, Tariq. I like it. I tell you what, then. So we're watching the winning touchdown, and it's coming across, and Tariq's already put down a huge tab on this one. He says he's got the over/under 24 and 17. That's what is that? 34, 30. That's somewhere between 35 and 40. Anyway, Tariq, we just scored that touchdown. What is your reaction? Give me that scream on 3, 2, 1.
Niners!
I think we just won that game. Thank you, Tark. Brian, 49er faithfuls. No, I got nothing but love for you. This is the part of the program when I go ahead and I tell you how I'm feeling about the scores that are coming up. I ain't scared either. You know, I was talking like I was before. I ain't scared. Listen, 49ers going to win this game. Why? First of all, Fangio, that fiendish, that man who just beats up offenses, he don't know nothing. He don't know nothing about Jimmy G. He doesn't know what's coming up. He has no way to know. He's just going to send his boys out there into what could be nothing but a steel trap. Fangio, we're coming to get you, boy. So the 49ers will put up 24 points. Should be. Because you know what? Jimmy G's going to make everybody around him better. This is why I know Carlos is going to have a good day. All the wide receivers that are playing should have a pretty good day because his accuracy is very sharp. His quickness, very sharp. So the pace of the scheme, go, 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 go. So I'm knowing it's going to be pretty smooth. The Bears, they can't prepare for this. They don't know what's coming. It's going to be quick, too. 24-17, 49ers win this game. I'm going to be all up in your face at your place. We're going to watch this together. I'm going to be hot. You know what? Be prepared because I could be out of control that day. I am so delighted with where the 49ers are going right now. So therefore, in your face at your place before the game, right afterward, I'm already celebrating the party right now. They don't know what's coming, fam. They don't know what's coming. After that, oh, but you gotta have the Ronbo Sports app. If you don't have that, get that. The Ronbo Sports app, you need that for all the information on how to join the show. You can Zoom in, you can go by the phone, you need a PIN, you need a phone number, and you're in. Come on in and have your opinions and voice them, and you keep that app. And also, it's great because Red and Gold Radio Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, we get together. That's your key to get into that as well. Yeah, I'll be looking for you, fam. All right? Let's try to keep calm between now and Sunday. Please hit like, share, subscribe. Sunday! Bring me some Sunday! Hurry up, Sunday! Maestro, count me down!
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Niners!